I think, Leon, is you need to stay focused and make sure you got a round in the chamber and your safety up.
I have another one of those chunky revolvers and a free internet cookie if you can work out where I bought this one from.
This is another Airsoft Mike production.
Hey, Tactical, welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is the King Arms Python Evil 357 Magnum Airsoft Revolver CO2. Now, if you have been keeping up with my videos, especially the Revolver variety, you'll know that my all-time favourite revolver resides in this case. Will this be a contender to replace this bad boy? I very much doubt it. Nothing's gonna beat this bad boy, but let's at least have a look. Hey, so yes, I did a massive airsoft shop the other day. I bought from various places, and as I said, I bought this one from Patrol Base. Look at that. I know that face. He's the one I call the Beard of Knowledge, Airsoft Knowledge, on the Patrol Base YouTube channel. He's the go-to guy if I want to learn a bit more about a particular airsoft platform. And there he is with Bruce Willis. Now, what do we get in the box? And oh my goodness, look. This is why I was saying, could it be a contender? Because look how chunky that bad boy is. So we get a Revolver speed loader. Nice. Oh, okay. A metal rail piece. And then the Python 357 Magnum Evil. And I think I know why it's been given the name Evil. Oh, would you look at that? I think Hellboy would love this. Okay, so basically this is Patrol Base's little tips and warnings. Nice. Oh, would you look at her? But you know what, straight away, before I get to the one negative point that I can see already with this revolver, let me get to a positive. Because I love that the cartridges that you get with this revolver, they look decent. Full metal. I'm loving how they have been done in terms of the silver tips there. And then you got the sort of brass colour beneath. Much better than one or two other brands that give you those horrible plasticky brown tipped cartridges. Anyway, I'll get to my little negative in a moment, but would you look at the epicness of this? I can see why they've tagged it the Evil, and I love that they give you the option of having a top rail or not. But anyway, my little negative. And this is why it will never beat the Umarex one, okay? Well, one of possibly two reasons. With my Umarex 629, you get a beautiful, pristine, polished finish on there. And even if it's not polished, when you get a revolver from Umarex, it tends to be a beautiful finish, like they took pride in the product, or whoever the OEM was. Now, typical King Arms. They make an awesome looking revolver, but can you see the imperfections on this bad boy? They're all over the shop. So, it's got a fully adjustable rear sight, so that's pretty cool. Fixed front. There's a quick look from the other side. There's the top. And as we're looking at it from this angle, we can take a quick look at the top of the revolver where you can see where you can install your rail. You can just literally just take out that and that hex screw and pop your rail on, and you are supplied with 2 screws. And the reason why you are given those 2 screws is that they are much longer. The ones that are already on top of the revolver, these 2, they are far too shallow and short to get through this metal sandwich, look. Hello. Hold on, I've got Hellboy on the phone. He's interested. Anyway, yeah, I could do with this scope being a bit further forward. I reckon, you know. Anyway, you've got a nice textured hammer there. Pretty decent looking trigger. Really hugs your finger look. You got a very nice ergonomical rubberized grip. That's what I like about this. And within there is where you put your CO2 canister. And if I haven't mentioned it before, this entire design is pretty much a King Arms design. Now, obviously, the base model will be 357, your Magnum, but with the King Arms touch. There you go, quick look on the other side, and again, your typical King Arms imperfections there. But again, I suppose you can say it's a nice sort of weathered look. And to be fair, something that looks as epic and brutal as this, maybe it does need that little bit of a beaten up look to it. Nice. Right, let's get it ready. Oh, this beast. It looks so epic. Right, so on the base of the grip, you use an Allen key to unscrew that, or a coin or something. And I must say, I'm trying to work out if I prefer this system or the one where you take off half of the grip and then slot the CO2 in. And you know what? I've made my mind up. I think I prefer this. Actually, I changed my mind. I forgot how fiddly it is to get these caps back on. I don't know, I'm 50-50 now. Hold on, there's a tradition on my channel to see how well Revolver cylinders sing. Oh no, this one's tone deaf. It can't sing. Now, of course, I've done Revolvers many times on this channel, so briefly, very briefly, you've got your cylinder there for your 6 cartridges. You've got your cylinder release. That only functions as that. Good. No safety there. However, on the back, just there, you've got your safety. And although you wouldn't find that on the real deal, I like that King Arms has placed it at the back here and made it as small as possible. Now, the cartridges. As I mentioned before, I absolutely love how they look, and on these, you put the BBs at the front. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, straight away there's something else I don't like about this, as epic as it looks. The grips, I think they look nice. I love that they're rubberized, but they need to be a bit more solid and attached properly onto the Revolver, because I can feel it in my hand. It feels like these grips want to give way, like they don't really want to be part of the Revolver. What's that all about? Now, I know I could use the speed loader, but that just takes away the fun and the authenticity of a Revolver. But of course, during gameplay, I probably would use one. Now, I just want to quickly show you, if you are going to put something a little Gucci on the bottom rail, it may get in the way of the ejector rod, so you'd have to push that in a bit. Okay? Because look, that massive screw there will stop this from going in. Actually, you know what? I've taken the light off because it's just going to get in the way. So let's see what she does on the Chrono. Allegedly, it's gameplay friendly. We'll see about that. I've got my eye protection on. Okay, so it's definitely gameplay friendly, especially if you're in a country where 340, 350 is the max you're allowed FPS wise during gameplay, especially CQB. Okay then, so we're going to see what it can do on the target. I've got more shells loaded up. I will say this though, something you've got to understand about me and my channel. And many of you would have worked this out already. I have a lot of airsoft guns, okay? I buy it because I have a YouTube channel to show you the good and the bad. So sometimes when I buy something, I will buy it knowing full well if it has a good or bad reputation. When I was buying this, I knew it did not have the best reputation in terms of the seals, the O-rings, all sorts of issues I've seen all over the internet regarding this. So I bought it. Yes, that's what I do. I buy the good and the bad just to see for myself. And so far, I wouldn't say this was 100% bad but boy does it have some flaws. Anyway, let's see what it does on the target. Oh, at least it has a nice spin on the cylinder. Do you know what? Considering the issues this bad boy has, that's pretty decent. I've had other Airsoft platforms that didn't even do that. This has a lot of issues. I love how it looks. It looks the part for me. As you know, a lot of the Airsoft gear I feature on this channel will probably end up in production somewhere on a movie set. But it's important that I tell you what I find during my videos, so it helps you out. For those of you who are considering buying a particular Airsoft product for Airsoft gameplay. First issue I want to point out to you, the grip. You're gonna have to either put a strap around it or somehow get it fixed down firmly on that metal frame of the Revolver, because it's too flimsy. When you hold on to it, you could feel like it wants to come away from the grip. Anyway, second issue. Remember the rear sight? And it's supposed to be all adjustable and everything, and it had a little black blade, as it were, tucked in there. That has since flown off and disappeared. The other issue I already mentioned, and you kind of heard it whilst I was doing the chrono test. It sounds weird when you're firing it, almost as if there's a seal somewhere or an O-ring that isn't quite up to the job. But it worked. I've got to give it that. It worked. It did its job. How long it will last? Who knows? But again, as you know, I will buy the good and the bad, the not so good and the not so bad, the very good and the very bad, just so that you can make an informed decision for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, for looks, I think it looks amazing, if you can look past the imperfections on the finish. Yeah. But other than that, no.